everyone, welcome back to Learning to Be Prepared. My name is Jeremy, and today we're going to take a look at what I currently carry in my EDC bag. An EDC bag stands for Everyday Carry. It's typically what you would keep in your bag on a daily basis, and you would just take it with you wherever you go. For me, I take my EDC bag when I leave the house in the morning, and I just put it in the trunk of my car. Then when I get to work, I can either take it into work with me if I'm working inside and just leave it at my desk or whatever, or I can also put it into my car that I drive while I'm at work. Inside the bag, it's not necessarily set up for survival. However, I think some of the items in the bag would help me in a survival-ish situation compared to not having anything at all. But mainly this bag is set up so that items that I think I might need throughout the day will be easily accessible. And I have some backup items in there as well, a little bit of repetition. And hopefully this will give you an idea of what you might want to consider carrying with you. If you're new to setting up an EDC bag, I think this will give you some ideas on what you might want to start as you put together an EDC bag. One of the things that I would recommend is that it can be overwhelming when you go to put an EDC bag together for the first time. So I would try not to get overwhelmed if I were you, and maybe pick one section of a bag at a time to work on. So if you want to have some snacks with you every day wherever you go, perhaps you could just go to Walmart, pick up a few snacks, and figure out how you want to put those snacks into the bag, whether you want to use a pocket or whether you want to use an organizer. And once you get those snacks put together, maybe the next week or the next month, you might want to put together a first aid kit or some type of trauma kit, depending on what type of job that you might have. But pick up one section at a time and just work on that and have fun with it, okay? With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the bag. Okay, everyone, so what I have here is going to be my Trident-20. This is going to be the Gen 2, and this is where I currently have my EDC items set up in. Now, I do change bags on occasion, especially with having a YouTube channel. I like to review bags and I like to try out different bags. So the two that I normally use are the Falconer 27 and then this Trident-20. Now, I'm not currently using this one today, so I'm just going to set it aside. But I wanted to show you the two bags that I most often switch back and forth between. While this is not going to be a review of this particular bag, you can go to my channel, and I've just recently done a review on the new Trident-20 Gen-2 bag. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you what I keep in my EDC bag. So starting at the outside top pocket, the first thing I keep in here is just quick access to my hearing aids. Inside this little pouch here, this is made by Richworks. I keep a lot of these individually wrapped eyeglass cleaners. You can get these at Walmart or Sam's Club. They're about $5 or $10 for a box, and there's probably a couple hundred in the box. I find that those are good for cleaning my watch, my Apple Watch, my phone, or my glasses. Next, I just have quick access to an EDC flashlight. This is going to be made by Factor, and this one is going to be 160 watt little push button tactical tail switch, and I believe this is actually called the MISPA 160. Next, I keep a couple of knives. They're actually multi-tools rather. This is going to be the Leatherman Juice CS4, and this is going to be the Skeletal, and that's going to be the CX. Now, the reason I keep a couple in here is that, believe it or not, I really struggle with being disciplined to put a pocket knife in my pocket every day, and that's based because of my uniform and other things that I already have in my pockets. It just makes it difficult. So I like to keep them in my EDC bag for quick access that way. The next thing that I keep in this top pocket is going to be my tactical pen, and this is made by Uzi. The next item is I have another flashlight. This is the Archer 2A V2 and this is going to be made by Through Night. This is actually one of my favorite lights because I love the clicky tail cap on this. I don't know why, if it's just the sound of it or the feel of it, but I love the clicky tail cap. Also, I like to keep this on me because it's a AA battery flashlight. It uses 2 of them, but they're easy to come by in case of emergency. The next thing that I keep in this top pocket is a Sharpie. Moving down into this front pocket, I mainly keep 2 types of items in here. I keep a small bottle of hand sanitizer, and then I keep a larger one. And I don't really need 2 of them. It's just that sometimes it's easier to grab the smaller one than the larger one. The other items I keep in here are just snacks and sugary type stuff, because when I'm in the car at work, I can just reach in and grab me something. So right now, I just have a Kind bar, some Tic Tacs, some cinnamon gum, and some icebreakers. And that is everything in the front pocket. Going into this next pocket, I have just another flashlight. This is the Phoenix PD35. Let me just let me explain a little something in here. So I know this is going to sound and look crazy. Why do I have so many flashlights? Flashlights are one of my hobbies. I really enjoy trying out different lights and using different lights throughout the week. So that's why I have 2 or 3 different flashlights in here. It's not that I think you have to have that many. It's just by choice because it's something that I personally enjoy. And on that note, here is a headlamp. This is also going to be made by Through Night. The reason I like to have a headlamp is so that if I have car problems or if I want to be hands-free, I do have that option. In the back of this bag, I keep a little mil-spec monkey hat just for when it's a little bit cool out. Right now, I don't really have a need for it with the weather, but I like to keep it in there anyway. On that note, I keep a pair of mechanics gloves, and these come in handy because it's not necessarily if it's cold out, but more along the lines is if you have to work on your car, if you have to pick up something that's already dirty, I like having a pair of gloves to do that with. Moving into the main part of the bag here, I want to explain that I used a modular approach to organizing the inside of my bag. So what I'll do is I'll go through each pouch and show you what I have in there. When I first open up this bag, I have it set up to where all the different organizers are just lined up through the bag. The first one I'm going to show you is, we're going to start on this end and work forward. The first one is I just have a Vanquest Slim organizer, and this is more of where I keep some extra money. Now, this money is not actually emergency money, but I keep it in there for the purpose of if I'm out and about, I don't have the time to go to the bank, or I'm going somewhere and I need a little bit of extra cash on me. So I keep 2 envelopes. This one has just emergency cash of different denominations. I only keep $100 in here, but I keep it in different denominations, 20s, 5s, 1s, and that's just so that it's more easily accessible for me. The second envelope that I keep in here, I keep just some nickels, dimes, and pennies in this one. And I have each of them, the nickels and the pennies and the dimes are each in their individual little craft size baggie. I don't really usually need these, but I just figure, you know, it doesn't take up any room, so I keep them in there just in case. I also keep a roll of quarters. Now, in order to keep the quarters to take up less room, I've put them inside a little baggie and taking them out of the roll. That way they lay more flat, and they take up a lot less room. I like to have 2 rolls of quarters in here, but I've recently had to use one during a situation. The next organizer that you're going to see is a PPM Husky organizer by Vanquest. This is going to be my battery kit. Due to the type of work that I do, I really have the opportunity to go through a lot of batteries. So on the front, I just have 2 fully charged 18650 batteries. Then I also have a little pack of CR123s. There's 4 of them in here. In the back, I have 4 AA and 4 AAA Energizer lithium ion. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said lithium. I guess they are lithium ion, I'm not sure. But they're lithium batteries nonetheless. And these have, I think, about a 20-year shelf life, so that's why I like to keep those in here. In the back section, I keep, and this one actually came apart. In here, I like to keep 4 AA inner loops and 4 AAA. I'm currently using 3 of them inside some flashlights now. These next few packs of batteries that you're going to see are my hearing aid batteries. So I have about 3 or 4 packs in there just because I always know where they are. The next kit is what I consider my tool kit. And in here, I just have a few items that I think I could use throughout the day. I keep some quick ties. I keep a razor blade. I keep some lip balm. Just a small Swiss Army knife that I picked up from SHOT Show. Some larger quick ties. I keep my bit sets for my Leatherman. And I keep a little water tool so that if I need to access water, this right here just has 4 different size wrenches, so to speak. And when you go to like a business or something like that and you need to access water, you go to their water faucet because they don't normally keep the handle on them, and turn this, you can turn it and turn on the little water. On this side, I keep an extra Bic lighter, fingernail clippers, some super glue, an inexpensive poncho, a bandana, and some duct tape. And that is everything I have in my small toolkit. The next kit that I have is going to be my electronics kit. And I keep all of this with me every day because I'm able to recharge my Bluetooth and my phone and things of that nature. So inside here, I keep a 8,000 milliamp hour battery bank made by Rev. I got that for $25 at Best Buy. This cable here is going to be for my earpiece for my Bluetooth. The next one is for my iPhone, and this is an extra mini USB, and this is one of the double USB port, and this just plugs into your cigarette lighter so that you can charge USB items. On this side, I just have another small mini USB. I have a second battery bank. I like this one because if I'm at church or something and I need to charge up my phone, I can go ahead and plug it into this one and just stick it in my pocket. Here I have a wall charger, and this just allows me to put my USB cable into the wall charger if I would like. And here I have a second cable for my iPhone, and at the bottom, yet again, I just have one more small micro USB. Now, I know there's a lot of repetition in these cables, but it allows me to loan one out, and it also allows me to charge up multiple phones at a time, because when I'm at work, I have 3 phones that I'm responsible for, and so that takes extra cables. In the back, I have just an auxiliary cable so I could plug my iPhone into the auxiliary port in the car. And that concludes everything that I have in my electronics kit. The last kit that I currently have in here is just going to be a medical pouch. So this is going to be a fat pack by Vanquest. I opened that a little bit careful because I choose to keep my my medicine box inside here, and it falls out if I just rip it open. I like to have this because it gives me an opportunity to keep 6 or 7 different types of medications. I don't use all of these. In fact, I rarely use them, but in the event I needed medication for an upset stomach or a headache or nausea, I have several different things that will help with that. There is a review of this little pill box on my channel as well. I'll try to put a link of that right below. This is actually set up just as a small first aid kit. I have some gloves, some Kleenex. I have some triple antibiotic cream. I have 2, well actually there's only 1 right here, N95 mask. I keep some 4x4s and 2x2s, little gauze pads. And I just keep a handful of those just in case I needed to cover something up. And I can use the duct tape in my bag to wrap that up with as well. In this corner down here, I have several Band-Aids right through there. And in this other side here, I just have 2 more packs of the gloves. I like to use the gloves that do not have the powder on them because they say sometimes people can be allergic to that. These gloves also come in handy because they can be used for picking up stuff that you find in your yard that you don't want to get your hands dirty. If you need to do just different types of things that you don't want to get your more expensive Leatherman gloves, mechanics wear gloves, you can throw on these and just throw them away after you're done. And that's going to be everything that I currently have in my little first aid kit. Okay, so that's everything that currently I just keep in my EDC bag. Okay everyone, so these are the main items that I showed you that I keep in my EDC bag. Now there are 2 other pouches that over the last few weeks I've been leaving out just because I've been trying to play around with the idea as to whether or not I want to leave these 2 pouches in here. The first is going to be this Eagle Creek organizer. Inside here I usually keep several more protein bars, beef jerkies, and things along those lines. But recently I just cleaned this out and took out the things that were not fresh, and I just decided not to put it back in, at least at this point. Because I do have these items here that I keep in this front pocket. The next organizer that I currently don't have in here is what I consider my survival-ish organizer. This again is not meant to make this backpack a survival pack, but if I were to be out and I did not have access to my bug out bag or my get home bags, this pouch contains some additional items that would be helpful. And I'm considering putting this back in, but at the moment I just don't have it in there. So I'm going to open this up real quick and just show you the last few details of this. The first thing is these little kits that I put together, and inside here they have 2 individually wrapped wet ones. It has 16 or so squares of toilet paper, and also it has a disposable toilet seat cover. And I just keep several of these in my bug out bag, but I also made one for my EDC bag in case I was out and the restroom that I needed to stop at was in really bad shape. I keep a second bandana. I keep a fire kit that has multiple types of tinder and multiple ways to start fire. I keep an emergency SOL bivvy. I keep just another small thing of matches and an extra lighter. On some of these items, it never hurts to have backup so that you can bless others with it if they need it, or if something just isn't working due to your weather, you have a couple of extra ones to try. I also keep 4 tablets to purify water. I keep an emergency blanket. Now this one I want to change out pretty soon to the SOL emergency blanket, but having these lesser expensive ones are still helpful because especially if you're in a medical situation and you need to wrap someone up, these cheaper ones will probably still help keep them warm, but you don't have to worry about losing a $5 or $6 emergency blanket. And the last thing that I have in there is just another small roll of duct tape. Okay everyone, so that's what I'm currently carrying in my EDC bag. As a quick footnote, I did want to let you know that my first version of my EDC backpack, all the organizers I used were these Eagle Creek organizers. I still really like these, and all of my get home bags that I have, I keep one in each car. They all use these different types of Eagle Creek organizers still. But for the EDC bag, I've really been moving more towards the individual organizers by Vanquest, because one of the things I like about putting together EDC bags is constantly changing them up and changing how I organize them. And what I realized in this particular backpack, which is the Vanquest Trident-20 Gen-2, is that when I use the organizers like you see here in the background here, those fit in the bag a lot nicer and gave me a little bit more room after I had everything in them. When I used the Eagle Creeks, they fit fine, but they filled up the backpack and I didn't have extra space for things throughout the day. So that's why in this version I've been using the other type of organizer. Now there have also been a few things here and there that, due to the fact that I change bags out periodically to review bags, a few things have probably gotten misplaced along the way. So these are the main items that I've been carrying on a regular basis, with the exception of the survival-ish organizer that I showed you at the end. That one I took out probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've just been playing around with the idea of leaving it out. But for right now, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions or comments and ideas, please let me know, because I've been carrying this for several months now, and I'm going to be beginning to put together my version 3. So I appreciate it guys, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.